Yo, I hate to step on your intro,
Nah,
bro,
come on,
but
let me hear it.
my wife, I promise you, she's the funk flex of movie watchers, bro. Like we be watching a movie,
A
and then
movie?
she be like, "Oh, I missed that. Let me rewind it," and then
Really?
she run
Funk
it back.
Master Flex time. Funk
I'm
Master
like,
Flex
Play that,
time.
yo. Just next time, just download a little bomb sound and do it.
I know.
Every
every
time she do it.
time.
You're now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in
to the Juxtaposition Podcast. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to episode 60. Is it what? 62 or 63? Where we at?
62.
Sheesh.
60.
I'm losing. Yeah, we just banging these out.
62. Welcome to episode 62 of the Juxtaposition Podcast, aka the Extraordinary Nobodies, aka the Starting Five, aka the Five Heartbeats, aka Four Heartbeats and Impossible that's now guaranteed. I'm your host, Varsenio Hall. And before we get into the shits, because I know we missed a week and a couple of y'all hit me up, my bad. We got some real shit going on. We're going to talk about it. But before we do that, I have a question of the week. And I'm going to start with my man, Alonzo. So, what's the worst nickname somebody's ever called you?
I would say, all right, so it's two, right? I had a
Now go bad first. What's the
no, it's two. So like it's usually when they try to ask me if it's a nickname, but I said no. Like it's not a go. There's like, hey, can I call you Al? And I was like, my name's not Al Alonzo, it's Alonzo. Like Al is short for Alvin, Albert, not Al Alonzo, because that's not my name. So I've gotten that. Usually if they spell Zoe, Z-O-E, and I'm like, I'm
Zoe,
not Haitian.
Yeah.
Like to me it's Zoe or Zoe is like that's a cultural thing, but that's not my
like some Haitian
specific culture. Yeah. Shout out to KV and the Haitians. But like that's not me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I might accept it if I was or understand it more, but I'm not gonna be called something to a culture that I'm not educated on what that means.
That.
You know what I mean? Like that.
So you're gonna stick with my pal Al.
Yeah, and then I would say my aunt, I don't know where she came up with this, but from the time I was probably like 2 years old, and I'm exposing a lot here. I'm supposed to take this to the family grave, like everybody who just around it knows it. But and my wife thought it was crazy. She's like, she's like, oh, y'all black people with the names is just. That was her reaction, which I couldn't even fault her for that because I'm like, yeah, we do be calling some crazy nicknames. So my aunt, to this day, from the time I was 2 years old to now 35, she's like Bucci. I don't know where it comes from. It has no correlation to my name. It doesn't. Bucci. She's just like Bucci. And I'm like, my mom was like, what the fuck? You at least get it. My mom was not happy with that, but for whatever reason, it stuck. Like that was one of my family nicknames.
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck. I'm trying to find Bucci. Don't fit.
There is no origin, bro. It's like she just was asleep and woke up saying it. Like
that's wild. Kev, how about you? What's the worst nickname somebody gave you?
A nephew.
What do you call?
So my nephew goes around. And, he's only 4, so he likes the word booty. To him is like a super exclusive word.
It's always funny.
It's funny. It's like it makes him laugh. It tickles him. I was saying it, booty, and then you say it, and he starts to laugh. It's just like a interesting situation. So my wife picked that up, and now she calls me Booty as a nickname.
Oh no,
she actually does that. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
my man, you gotta relax.
So that's Booty. I don't know what that's Booty. So Booty's the one.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was the most recent one.
Cleveland, how about you? What's the worst?
The worst. I'll go with my aunt as well. She called me Babbage.
Ooh. Hold on. What?
Babbage eating cabbage.
Because she said when I was younger and I was chubby that I looked like a Cabbage Patch Kid. But
I knew it had something to do with cabbage.
But like black people, it can't just be cabbage. Like it's Cabby Wabba Babbage, or you know what I mean? And then she just stuck with Babbage.
Did he just do a commercial? Like
Cabby Babbage. That's hilarious. Babbage sound like a bad bitch. That's what you pulpit.
That's not what I said, bitch. By the way. I said it.
The bad bitch.
Pause.
I gotta pause that. My fault, Al.
Oh, all right. What about you?
Yo, I always hate. I don't like people who thought they was a little bit too comfortable call me Trav.
I knew you was going there.
I knew you was gonna say Trav
I
as
know
well.
you for so long that bothers you. Only I know.
Hey, Trav, like, no, nah. Like, can I call you Trav? No,
Why do they
can't.
ask, can I call you? If you have to ask me that, you know you're in the wrong. That's like the not to sound racist, but you know you're gonna say some racist shit. Like
no disrespect, but
I'm about to disrespect you. So if you gotta ask me, like, yo, can I call you? That's probably a no. Call me what I told you my name was.
So let's as a collective channel which nickname James hates. What's the nickname that James hates the most?
Jaime or Jimmy. He hates Jimmy. I know
Jim.
he hates Jimmy.
He hates
Jazz call him Jimmy, and he'd be like, really? You don't like that.
James is not a Jim, yo. He's not a Jim at all. Yeah, not a Jim, not a Jimmy. Nope. He none of those.
Yeah, he's not Jimmy.
Shout out to James and Chloe.
James is hustling right now.
And
Shout
Jessica.
out to him.
And Jessica, of course.
The mom,
of course.
Right.
Well, you know, this was
how it is when the babies come. It's just like Chloe and them. It's
right.
Yo, I told him, I said, yo, get ready because when I pull over, I don't want to see you. Just move out the way when you open the door. Like,
right.
We coming for the baby, bro. Like, it's over for you.
She just turned a month, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my niece, a month old. Our niece is a month old.
Time flies.
Yo, and she look like James for real. Yo, she got that.
That's James's child. Son.
Yeah, she got James family genes, son. Wendella.
I can't.
Now that's gonna be her nickname that she gonna grow up hate. I'm calling her that.
She gonna hate it. Hate it.
My Uncle Zo keep calling me Wendella. I don't understand where it comes from. Like, ask your father.
Babbage. just not gonna know. Maybe these things existed before we was even born. Like they just, they see like their sister or their aunt pregnant, and they just start saying nicknames before you even have a pulse yet. So we just.
I think I think that's a cultural thing, though. I mean, I know Italian. Certain people, like certain cultures, they do have like a nickname kind of deal.
Mexican folks too.
Yeah, I mean, my wife Puerto Rican. Hers was, I don't think everybody had a nickname in her family, but I know there's kind of her. She told me at one point that they used to just call her Chocolate. And I was like, why?
She's not even that brown.
But compared to them, yes.
Oh, all right.
Like they like the fair skin Puerto Ricans. She's like Marco.
I be hearing shit like that. And like,
that's racist.
Nah, but I be thinking like, if you darken your family, well, damn, what the fuck am I?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They gonna call you some other
Negro.
Yeah.
Negro.
Cocoa bean.
It'd be like the lightest John. And she's like, yeah, I'm darking my family. Like, for real?
Really? Yeah.
All right.
Or, La Noche. They would call this nigga Night.
All right. I don't like that nickname. Take it back. Take it back.
El Noche.
Yo, man. So if you're listening to this, obviously you're a listener and you fuck with us, and we were not here last week. We had a series of events that was going down and kind of, that circled a few of us. So I kind of wanted to share some of the stuff that at least I've personally been going through, because I feel like this is one of those times where it's a historical record and I could have a conversation with my brothers about low-key, I feel like the help that I personally need. So as an overarching statement, I am to the point where I have reached my max of capacity, to the point where like I need to solicit some outside counsel, whether that be financial planning, whether that be I got to hire a personal trainer, and I got to get a therapist, because it's just too much. I've navigated thus far here on my own, but now I need some help. Is strong, but so I'll give y'all a caption snapshot. Go ahead.
Help is what it is, though, bro.
Yeah, but
there's nothing wrong with saying it, bro.
I don't like it, because needing help means that I can't do it by my fucking self, but I can't.
Or it's like a sign of being fucked up, right? Like nobody want to admit they fucked up.
Yeah, man. And like, I want to go out on a limb and having this conversation with hopes of y'all, potentially sharing some counsel, or folks listening who may have been in this position, that can kind of help put the pieces together. But without getting emotional, I'll start with this. Last Wednesday, my nephew almost died. And with my nephew almost passing away, there was so much trauma in the conversation because my sister, whose son it is, obviously is distraught. She's on the other side of the country. My nephew was in California. She was in Kentucky. But my sister being so calm in that moment, she delivered the information to me, but she was also the person over the phone who delivered the information to me that my mom passed. So it was a double whammy of hearing the same voice deliver some of the same news, and I wasn't prepared for either one of them. And in that moment, the only thing I thought about was like, I don't even have space to process. I just like I feel like I had a panic attack. My whole body just like shut down. Like, I guess I'm holding so much and been rocking and rolling and moving and shaking and thinking that I'm properly dealing with it, but I probably haven't been because I'm at the point where I don't have any more space left for any trauma. Like I'm maxed out. Like I'm at my credit limit. I'm at my I'm just maxed out. Like there's no more that I can do. And I hated that feeling. That shit was really like, it's like a crippling feeling. I've never been in a position like this before. But as y'all, there's some other things that have happened behind the scenes in the last few months that just contribute to the pile on. And I think that it is quite possible to have the best year of your life, which I think I'm having, and also be dealing with the most amount of trauma and shit that kind of provides the balance for the season. So
yeah, you're at capacity, bro. Like, and it's okay to be at capacity. I think it's weird because like men, especially black men, it's like we feel like we can just keep going. Like we feel like we always got another compartment to store something in.
Yeah. I think we're like, we don't think to keep going.
Yeah. Like, yeah, to an extent too. But like we feel like, all right, I can just put this here, put this here, put this here, put this here. But it all just stays there. It doesn't get dealt with. It doesn't get checked. It just stays there. And then you look for either you're going to stop yourself and deal with it, or it's going to stop you. It's like that's the only options that you have. You can't outrun it. You can't outwork it. You can't out success it. Like there's nothing you could do to make you not have to deal with the things that are going on.
And I'm looking around. And this is me being super transparent. I'm spending more money on stupid shit. Eating worse. Like these are the writings on the wall that exist, but you don't really know until you have either the luxury or the unfortunate reality of facing it. And when you think about the things, it's like, here's the moment where I know that I take accountability in order to get the help or get the outside counsel that I need. Or this is the point where I begin to unravel. I have two choices. You know what I mean? Get the help or fucking begin the unraveling process, which can't happen.
And you got to be careful now too, like to not be fooled by relief. Like, cause sometimes you'll go through things like this and it's like, you'll get a breather and you're like, oh no, I'm good. I just needed a breather. And that's the most deceptive thing ever, because it's like relief feels like peace, but
it's they're
the two completely different.
That shit just the end of the quarter.
Exactly.
I had that shit happen this morning. I was like to a younger me, it would have been like, oh nah, all right, that was a temporary moment. But now that I've been through trauma in multiple spaces, probably untreated trauma, I know what that temporary relief looks like. And it's like, don't think that this is the solution or that you're better now. Like, now this is a process that will be something that I want to add into my repertoire, because I'm a super, super, super big advocate for mental health. And because I'm so self-aware, I can trick myself into thinking that I don't need it because I understand the things that I need to do. And that is the smartest, dumbest shit that I could ever possibly do, because knowing what you need to do and not taking action on it, it's probably way more counterintuitive than somebody who don't know what to do and doesn't do it. You can't blame them.
I'm gonna tell y'all Var lying because he called me crazy and he never offered me net therapy.
You crazy? Yes, I
do. Nah, but I understand you completely. Like, you know what? I learned this lesson a long time ago with some people, some relatives that are in this profession. Therapists need therapy.
Right.
So like, even if you're the person, or even if you feel like, okay, I got it, you still got to get that out. You just suppressed it somewhere. You ain't really handled it. You just felt like, oh, well, we on the roller coaster went this way now, but you still on the ride. Like, you ain't never like attend to the situation. And I think that's what we do. We tend to, once, like you said, Cleveland, like we get a good little situation, a little pause in the drama. It's now sweep under the rug.
Yeah.
And we never take care of it.
But you're right with that whole therapists need therapy thing, because I'm not used to being in this seat, figuratively and literally. I'm the person that folks go to help solve their shit. And I've always known how tough it is to be vulnerable about all the things that you're dealing with. And then externally saying that, whether that may be embarrassing, whatever. But now that I have to communicate that to people that I care about, it don't feel like a failure, but it definitely feels like, fuck, bro. Like, I don't want this to be me, even though it needs to be. Like, it's my time to be in that seat. Like, everybody get a turn, and now it's your turn.
Well, who helps the people that helps people? Remember, I think I asked that question on our first vulnerability. Like, I'm helping everybody else, but nobody seems to come to my rescue.
And I made a video literally about this. And my question was, who helps the people? I mean, who helps the person that helps the people? Who helps the person that helps the people? And that video was more autobiographical in terms of like taking a break, because there's, y'all know, like I do a lot between pod, working, clothing line, trying to, you know, I make the most money in my family. It's kind of make sure that my dad's good, my sister good, all this shit. And that doesn't affect me, but it's only one straw away from breaking my back. One little thing could come through and just topple the whole thing. And I don't want that. So I'm taking this as a sign to like get this shit together.
Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. I think a lot of times too, it's like when you're at capacity, your tolerance starts to go down too. So it's like, I feel overwhelmed. And because I feel overwhelmed, the things that I used to be able to tolerate, I can't. And it takes less for me to snap. It takes less for me to react in a way that I don't want to react. And it's like, that's another thing that relief does. Because then you feel a sense of relief. You go back into doing what you were doing. Somebody's calling you, sharing all their problems, and you're trying to help them navigate that. But then you're right back at capacity. So then something else happens, and it's like, I don't got no time for this. You snap, whatever. Like, it's crazy, man. I think as an adult, what I've experienced in very similar situations to what you shared, it's like you're always expected to keep going, and you never really get a chance to like reflect on what just happened. I think the only time that happened with me is this year. Like, this year has been a roller coaster for me. And when my grandfather passed, like, I literally sat and like had to process like, yo, this happened. Like, because it's always like, oh, you know what I mean? Somebody passed. All right, look, what can I do? Right. Yeah. Performance. What can I do? I want to go to my grandma's house and clean out the gutters. But like, she wants me to sit next to her. She don't want me to clean out the gutters right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but we want to keep going because like doing something is what prevents us from like addressing what we need to address.
And keeping busy is my vulnerability trigger. Like whenever I get into a space where like trauma incoming, I'll just stay busy. Right. And that is the suppression tactic that I personally use. And it's very toxic because you're thinking you're doing a good thing by continuing to be busy and productive, but you're just ignoring the thing that's right in front of you, that's yelling at you. You got the shit on mute. Let me just go over here.
But we think idle minds equals like, we don't want to, our A-type personalities don't want to get into like a depression, funk or stuff. Cause we always be like, I don't understand it. We just,
right.
And we also believe in the A-type personality is the show must go on.
The show,
like I gotta stay busy because the bill ain't gonna be like, oh well, hold on, chill. Like this nigga mad, right? He's sad, or he going. Right. So we always like we'll I'll cry in the car. Like on Friday, he gonna cry in the car. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna handle that on my drive, but then I'm gonna straighten up in the parking lot, and that whatever travel time I had was my time. It's over. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's what we do. But a lot of times society doesn't allow us to, even when we want to.
You know what's interesting? I'm in a bit of a unique position, and it kind of makes it worse for me. I might be conditioned to think about how society doesn't let us as Black men share. I had the luxury of being able to emote, not only at work, but at home, right? I have the space to share, and it makes me not. And it's so strange. Like,
that's weird.
I have the space to take time off of work. Talk to my manager today. I'm like, I might take it the week after Thanksgiving off to just for like recharge. I had that ability. I got a very supportive fiance. I got y'all. I have family. I have people who I can express this stuff to, and it only comes out in certain pockets. So even that's fucking weird. It's like I have the space to build and let go and all the shit, and something still prevents me from doing it.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. It's strange. Like, even in having like a job where I don't really have the ability to just take whatever time that I want, but it's flexible, right? So like, even having a job where it's flexible, where you can run and go do something. Like, I was thinking back to like how many times when, I was taking care of, my daughter by myself, and I had to leave work early or to go to a doctor's appointment or something.
Mm-hmm.
But then like the next day, I felt like I had to make that up.
Catch the work up, right?
Not even, bro, like, I always did my work. So it was just like, I'm going to do something extra. You know what I mean? Like, to compensate for that gap that I missed. Right. I missed 3 hours of work yesterday. So I'm going to pitch a new process to my manager didn't even ask me to do this, but I'm going to do it because I feel like I have to make that up. Like, that pressure to perform, that pressure to like, look what I did.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yo, that's so
don't think of me as a slacker.
I had the conversation with my manager today about this very thing. I don't want to become the person who becomes affected by things and now somebody else has to pick up my work, even though that's not the case. I don't want my reputation to be, yo, I'm affected by X, Y, and Z. So Travar took a personal day, so now his work's falling on me. I don't ever want that shit. And she definitely reassured me, like, come on, that's not the case.
But bro, what if it happens though? What if it happens? It happens, right? Like, honestly, think about it. Yeah. You work for multi-million, probably a billion, overall $1 billion company. Yeah. So like, if you needed to take a day to manage something for yourself and someone else was impacted by the day that you took, then it was impacted by the day that you took. Like, that's like the worst thing that can happen. But your track record speaks for itself. So even if they were impacted, it's like, okay, like that's part of
one time during the year, bro. Yeah,
right.
Like, every game, Jordan didn't always have 50. Some days somebody else had more, or he wasn't feeling well, or whatever the case may be, and pick up the damn slack. Like you said, it's part of being the team.
Exactly.
Today's your day. Congratulations. I helped you.
And I'm saying that like I do it easily. I don't, but it's just like when I sit and think about it, it makes sense, right? Like, it's like advice you give to other people that like sometimes you don't follow yourself. But when I think about it, it makes sense. Like, the worst thing that happened is that this person had to send out 3 extra emails because I wasn't around, but then I came back. Right.
And I really want not to care. Like, this is how I know I'm also affected. I really don't give a fuck. Right. I really don't care. What I'm concerned about is my reputation.
I think as people, as men, particularly, we try to solve our own problems. I think that's part of our superpower. It's really solving our own problems. So then when we actually have to leverage assistance, it puts us in a space. But I think you're in the right direction in terms of just looking for some mental assistance or help in therapy, really. You know what I mean? The professional help to really unbiased person that can ask questions for you to express how you feel. And, that's all it's about. It's about just allowing yourself to dive into the emotion without feeling that you have to justify why and how you feel. I think that's more of a traumatic effect than actually experiencing the emotion, because it's life is a part of experiencing all these events that we're going to experience, And our life is a part of these events that we're getting all experience. And how we address these events, how we deal with it, how we reflect on it, how we move forward is part of the process. So don't skip steps, don't not address it thinking that you can reflect on it and then kind of move forward, so.
And I be thinking that I do the thing, right? And sometimes maybe I do it, but maybe I don't do it all the way. Like sometimes you need to know that you can bleed, right? And I wouldn't want it to be a gunshot for me to help to figure it out. It's just, this is like a close call, like you said. Like this is something that's like close enough to let me know, like, oh, you don't have no space, bro. Go deal with this shit, right? Like, because you said something, although the audience didn't hear, but we did get the best desired outcome. And probably me with more space understands that, processes that, and move on. Me right now in this current moment, it's almost like you ever sleep, right? You sleep you ever sleep with something next to you and you get the imprint on your face? It's like if you got beads and you got like
too.
Yeah, it is, right? You just got the imprint of like whatever you was laying on your face.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I feel.
From the blanket or something.
I'm awake. I'm not sleeping anymore, but it's just pressed upon me about how close the parameters, what would have, and I don't got no business thinking about that shit. I have no business because it's not going to help me, and I know that, but it's just there, and that for sure is an indication. Like, yeah, bro, you got to go ahead and take care of that.
I think that's a human nature. Like, you used to get on me for that. Like, it's different with the trauma though, because it's like to replay trauma is like a self-haze.
Mm-hmm.
But I say that because I'm like that type of personality where I self-haze, even if like sometimes I do hit the what if, or I see like 4 steps ahead, like, yo, this could have happened, and it's our parents do that with us. Right. Yeah, but this could have been like, but mom, I'm good.
Or you get hit. You get hit when somebody your age does something bad. Just so you know, don't you dare do that shit. Like, I do that.
I remember one of my friends ran away, and my mom was like, "I know you better not, because you got." I'm like, "Yo, but I'm sitting right here. Like, I have no. Did you do something? I have no reason to run away. Like, why are you doing me like this?" But we tend to. It's a self-haze, like, you know what I'm saying, because it's like paranoia, but it also that self-haze self-checks. It keeps you in line, I think, that we don't realize. But we do need to reach out, speak out, whatever you want to call it, because I think the way we like to, Black men especially, we like to absorb. We're like sponge. We absorb the pain. We absorb the trauma. And I wish James was on here right now just because I'm about to say this word and there's a joke behind it, but we compartmentalize, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things that I can't put my hand on it, but we've all done it here. Like, we all have way different experiences. We all have come from different backgrounds, but how is it that we all do the same thing?
You hit it on the head. The show must go on, right? Like, we all have aspirations of being the head of household, holding it down for your family, not having the women in your lives want for anything emotional, spiritually, financially. Like, you want to be that person that your family looks to, your friends look to, that they can rely on. And sometimes you may not feel like you have space to feel. So that puts you at a interesting crossroads of like, do I do what I need to do in order to get better? Or do I put myself at a deficit temporarily or permanently to support the people who are counting on me? And fortunately for me right now, I don't have any children, so I have the space to be able to take care of the shit. But I mean, even for y'all, you Cleveland and Zo, like,
I'm just getting to that spot
as dads, like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you balance?
Bro, like I realized how off balance my life was when I moved to Mass. Like when I moved to Mass with just me and my daughter, and I was used to always support. Literally, like, the support that I got, I appreciated it so much because a lot of people helped me out. But when I went up there, it was just me and her. And I remember just like going through some things And that's when I knew I had to start seeking help, seeking therapy, because I was going through things and it was having a much like stronger impact on me than it normally would. Like little things that I used to be able to just brush off, I couldn't brush off anymore.
Right.
Like, and I started to grow resentful. My anxiety was like through the roof because I naturally overthink everything. Like I think about like, well, if I do this, then that person probably gonna do that.
Right.
And then always like trying to prepare as well. So like I overthink in positive ways, but I overthink in negative ways as well. And man, I felt like one night I couldn't even turn my brain off, bro. Like my daughter went to sleep and I literally had all the lights off in the room and I could not stop myself from thinking. It was debilitating, bro. Like I couldn't do anything. So it's like one of those things. It was because I wasn't checking things. I wasn't addressing things that had happened. I've been through some crazy stuff, but because I didn't talk it through with anyone and help reframe those things and understand what they should have been, it was just like it just kept building to the extent where it was just like, yo, I can't do anything. I can't go to work. I didn't want to pick up my phone. Like I didn't want Amaya to go to school. Like, yo, you go to school just so I can deal with what I got to deal with. But I don't even feel like getting you dressed right now. I don't feel like making your lunch. I don't feel like doing any of that. So like, if you don't address it, it stops you.
How did you
stop
manage?
You in your track. I got help. I got therapy. Honestly, it shook me so much. And I'm gonna say it scared me so much that like I called my parents. You know what I mean? I'm a grown man living on my own in a completely different state. And I called my parents. I let them know what went wrong and what was going on. And they came up immediately. And then after that, I just started going to therapy, man. And it helped me reframe so many things. Like, it's crazy because it's like some things that you go through, you feel like you dealt with it, but then something happens and it triggers you and you realize it's not all the way dealt with.
Exactly.
And I think that's part of the process. Like, you're constantly like going back to have to deal with some things like crazy relationships. And then I realized that like I haven't had just one crazy relationship. I had one that was like way left.
Yeah, you had the one, then you had other ones.
Yeah, but then I had other ones that was so kind of wild. Like when I talked through some of the things that happened in the other one, like my therapist was like, you do realize that is not normal. Like you think this thing that's always left.
Well, what part? Well, like how much the other person ate? Like was that it?
No comment.
Yo, nah,
son. Intern.
Yo, but real talk, yo. I feel like Cleveland, like I have that same problem. Like I'm currently dealing with that. Like you ever have so mine sometimes goes into dreams, right? And it's like remember the movie Groundhog's Day where he wake up all the time and it's the same dream. Like I've realized that I've had that where like the outcome is the same, but how it happens is different. If that makes any sense. And it's like it's disturbing to me because of what the outcome is or what it is. And I'm like, yo, I do gotta talk to somebody because of it results from a pain and trauma that is like I don't know. Like, I just feel like I don't know if y'all ever felt like this, but like, have y'all ever felt that, yo, you will never feel whole until one specific thing is done?
Yeah, and it's a lie. It's a whole lie. I was like Kanye, wait till I get my money right. Got my money right, still fucked up. And
all right, so mine, yeah, that's true. But like mine is like, it's kind of weird. It's like, I will never feel complete or whole or feel like I could rest at night until a specific situation is handled.
Oh yeah. No, like, that's an exclusively Alonzo thing.
Yeah, like I feel like until like
you don't gotta say it, we know.
I don't want to incriminate myself, but just in case something happened to the person. But like until like this is like non-existent, if that makes sense. Like until just how I feel.
Yeah.
Like I feel like strongly and passionate at it. And in my heart, I know that's not a right thing or a good feeling to have. Like I felt like I was raised better than that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was.
Can you trace this to a biblical verse?
I was gonna go to churchy, yeah. Like I felt like God knows better.
Honestly, like
what was that slingshot story?
David and Goliath. I don't know if that applies.
It don't.
But yo, I think what it is, there's no easy path to forgiveness, yo. And what I've learned and what is biblical is that forgiveness is not a feeling. It's not, you won't wake up and, well, you will wake up and feel less maybe
Angry?
aggression, less angry towards someone who's wronged you. That'll eventually happen. But like forgiveness, it has nothing to do with a feeling. It's literally letting go. It's letting go. It's I looked at a translation in one scripture, and it forgive literally means to give before. It literally means to do something kind towards someone who doesn't deserve it when they don't deserve it. And it doesn't literally mean like you got to go do something for them. Because I saw Zoe's face when I said that. Like, what?
I'm
like I wouldn't. You know,
you had to forgive or forget.
He was on fire, but
mother love.
Yeah, but like it literally means it can mean anything. It literally can mean like, okay, I'm never going to get an apology from this person. They're never going to come clean about what they did. So forgiveness in this case is just like I'm letting it go. I'm choosing to think about something else. I'm choosing to change the direction of my thoughts, which is a difficult process. And, you know, my experience is a really difficult process, especially when that person still has to be somewhat involved in your life. It's a difficult thing to do. It's not easy, but it's not a feeling, bro. It's so you gotta be real with yourself.
So, I mean, we can end on this concept here, but I definitely wanted to interject this piece. For everybody that is quote unquote winning or looks good on the gram or somebody you admire, you don't see their scars, right? And how important is it to understand, for the listeners, how important is it to understand that nobody reaches a certain level without taking their fair share of lumps and bumps and bruises? Like how important is that for folks to know and not to idolize what they see and not understand what they don't, if that makes sense?
Well, it's like not idolize. We idolize the result, but we don't understand the path.
Right.
So like everybody's path is different. We don't know what that person did to get there. We don't know how many times they cried, how many times, you know what I mean, how many failures they had. We just see it, and then we get misconstrued with the gram that every day is peachy, and it's not. It's the gram is like a scrapbook of accomplishments.
Highlight reel.
So exactly, it's your highlight tape. Yeah, I mean, you put every time you got an interception, every time you got a steal, every time you got a dunk, every time you struck somebody out, you know, every time you hit a home run, like those are that's the highlight reel. But we never portray the strikeouts, the swing and the miss, the cut from the team, the whatever, you know what I mean, the injury, whatever the case may be. So we understand. I think it goes back to kind of the Serenity Prayer, like accept the things that we cannot change. And the wisdom to know the difference. That's the key part. Know the difference between the two. Like know, like, yeah, that person's successful, but try to pick their brain and don't judge them. And a lot of times we gotta start using positive fuel. Like quit with the envy. Like if you see somebody doing better than you, like don't hate, but be like,
aspire.
What can I do? Like it's okay to want to be like something, but not want to, like, I don't gotta unscrew your light bulb for me to shine. Like, you know what I mean? And that's not just me being light skinned talking. Like that's a real concept. You know what I mean? But I think we get caught up in that. Like, how could we tear somebody else down because of how we feel, as opposed to figuring out, like, dang, what did they do? And then apply what they did. It may not be the exact same thing, but to your actual life, what works for you?
What's your nickname again?
Bucci.
Wise words from Bucci. Wise words from my man Bucci. Look, I don't know if I'm actually looking for any tips for y'all to share, because I think this is just a work in progress. Thank y'all for letting me share, get that shit off my chest, because you know, man, I look at the pod like a audio, you know, time capsule, and there will be a time where I listen back to episode 62 and be like, damn, son, I've grown so much from that, or oh shit, I'm still dealing with that. And I think that kind of puts the flag in the ground and be like, damn.
Oh, wow, I can't believe that happened. I remember when that happened.
Right. But any parting words you want to leave for folks about this topic, like I said, we're not experts. We're just sharing our story.
I think that's key there. When we're not experts, we're just sharing our stories. Like, so for any level of success that you may think we have or that we describe in other shows, there's also an equal and sometimes at times feels like greater amount of struggle that comes with that, which is why we're able to celebrate our successes so much, because the process that got us here was full of ups and downs and struggles. You know what I mean? And it's like one of those things, it just comes with the territory.
Mm-hmm.
Sustainable success comes with constant challenges. You can't separate the two. It's always going to happen.
All right, y'all. And with that, let's get to your favorite segment.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
Hey, yo, Zo knows this. Zo knows that. So light skin. Zo stay black.
Hold on, let me run it back one more time because we didn't do it last week.
Here we go, yo.
Oh,
Rewind.
Funk flex. Zo knows this. Zo knows that. So light skin. Zo stay black.
Yo, I hate to step on your intro.
Nah,
bro,
come on, let me hear it.
My wife, I promise you, she's the funk flex of movie watchers, bro. Like, we be watching a movie, and then she be like, "Oh, I missed that. Let me rewind it." She run it back.
Master flex time. Funk master flex.
Play that, yo. Just next time, just download a little bomb sound and do it.
I know
every time.
That's fast. So that would annoy me, but a lady tries to have me be funk flex because she be dozing off. Like, nah, go back. I'm like, nope. Watch it on your own time.
Yo, so Hot 97 when they used to have like the person on the microphone. Well, it was they had an audio drop. And it was somebody doing the funk flex with their mouth like.
Yeah, little fake. That's so crazy. Anyway, he was just in New Brunswick. My homegirl took a picture with him on Friday and posted it. He was walking the streets.
I did watch White Shit Wednesdays, and it was hilarious.
Oh, that's always funny to me. Yo. I hear it live on Wednesday. Like,
I know,
when it's
that
happening.
shit is hilarious.
But so first we're gonna start off Zo Knows with a two birthday shout outs. I want to shout out our homegirl, Bianca Jacques, Eric's wife, my boy wife. Being that you played, my intro for the Zo Knows, it was a 90s theme party. So you do know the original was played. The Busta Tribe Called Quest Scenario. That's my joint. And
Busta ripped that joint.
Yo, we had actually now rap my intro instead of the.
Yo, me and Tiff was at the Dave Chappelle show in San Francisco, and the DJ played Scenario, and Tiff started rapping the Zo Knows part. So
that's why I love Tiff. Thank you. Shout out to Tiff.
She definitely light skinned. She definitely stayed black. So
yeah, it's catchy, yo. You can't avoid it. So that's the first birthday shout out, and the second one for this week's news. When you guys hear this, it would have been 4 days ago. But my wife's birthday is today, the day that we're recording.
Happy birthday, sis.
Miss a lady's middle name Williams. It is her birthday, and I want to shout her out. And
you gonna tell the people about it's so real. What you got on your arms for her birthday?
I have a new tattoo, and it's a Williams crest. Right, it's my family thing that my sister found. It's on my front door. This big W with the Williams, but I added to it. I threw my wife, my daughter, and my two daughters' names on the tattoo today, and she got a tattoo today. She got my youngest daughter's footprints and the birthday and name. Like I got 5 years ago, but she bailed on me. So,
but she didn't get your name.
Nah.
I'm gonna need to see her about that. I'm gonna need to see her.
No, she got. Don't get it twisted. Her time is coming, but I gotta draw something. I'm gonna draw something. I can't draw, but I'm gonna get Corey or somebody to draw. My sister to draw something. She thinks she's off scotch-free, but absolutely not. So, but yes,
here. This for you.
Yeah, all you. Okay. Oh, your appointment's already made. That's what happened. So, paid for and everything. So, shout out to the wife. This is like, I feel like as a person whose birthplace was in Cuba, I feel like I violated because we talked 2 weeks ago about Snoop getting the award, and I did not mention LL Cool J getting his.
We talked about it a little bit.
Slightly.
But you didn't bring it up.
Yeah, we geared on Snoop, but LL got his too. So I want to shout out Cuba. I want to shout out LL and congratulate him on his award.
But no, Snoop think it was Jay-Z.
I mean, Jay-Z did. I think we mentioned something else about
Hall of Fame.
Yeah. But it was one of those things where I should not have forgotten, but a lot was going on, so I had to say that. And then I don't know if y'all been noticing in the news, we got 2 major court cases going on right now. We have the 3 white men court case because it is not the Ahmaud Arbery is not on trial. So those 3 what's I don't even know their last name. The funky ass last name they got, and then the one random guy who just was going for the ride and recording. He thought he was gonna get a job at TMZ or something. I don't know. Their court case, and then the Kyle Rittenhouse court case, and the judge in this Rittenhouse court case is real. It's a lot of sus stuff going on in both.
Yes, he said you can't call
the people who are not existing
the people
anymore,
who passed away
from
not
Kyle passed away. They was murdered.
Yeah, they were murdered. Yeah, you can't call the people who were murdered victims. You call them rioters or shoplifters.
Yeah, looters, bro. One has nothing. They still got murdered, bro, and not by the police. You know what I mean?
I see his fake tears.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that ugly fake.
The snot cry. Don't even know. First
he
of all,
was waiting for the judge to tell everybody.
He was looking to the left, like,
he was going to keep going until that.
Which tells me they had some type of plan, like, yo, go ahead and call the recess.
Because they are weaponizing, like trying to.
And listen, at the end of the day, I know he ain't never get his ass whooped because that ain't how you do the stutter cry. He ain't do it right. I done got my ass whooped in real life.
His mom drove him to kill people.
Clearly, he didn't get his not on trial and face no charges, which is crazy because that's like child endangerment.
They send black women to jail for sending their
registering
kids to school district.
Yup, registering it. It happened in Texas. Like, so this is crazy. It's going on. The judge, his phone rang. He's so unprofessional. His phone rang in the middle of the damn court, and it was that little theme song that was written by one of the Trump supporters. The America, it's not even God Bless America, but whatever it was. His phone rang, and then
then that was staged. I feel like something like that is staged. Like he wanted everybody to know that was
because you as a judge tell everybody to turn your shit off. So how yours on? So that's crazy. And then he cussed out the prosecution, which prosecution is kind of trash, but you never see nothing like that. You don't even see stuff like that happen. And then in Brunswick, Georgia, we got one. I think I mentioned last time it was one black juror out of the 12. And then homeboy, one of the defendants lawyer, he went to town with his blatant overt racism.
So what Al Sharpton?
Oh yes, I loved it. I love good racism to where I laugh. Where I was like, oh, it caught me with like, oh shit, he wilded out. Like, god damn, like that's how you feel, son? We don't need no more black pastors. It's just the word black. And the crazy part wasn't even him saying it. The crazy part was everybody else didn't flinch. That's what threw me like, oh, so all y'all is with this shit.
Yeah, he said, as long as, what does he say? He said, as far as I know, Reverend Al Sharpton doesn't have a church in this district. And he was like, I'm just tired of all these black pastors.
Yo, but then he said, yeah, because like Jesse Jackson was here last. First of all, Jesse Jackson was in the hospital with COVID. And I said that shit on the pod a couple weeks ago. Like, Jesse Jackson wasn't even there, which is crazy. Like, yo, y'all really think all black people look like? Like, I can't even take it no more.
It's sad, bro.
It's super sad. It's just like it's egregious, as my line brother,
as Gabe would say,
the Deuce would say, it's egregious. Yeah, I never seen that like this, and it's only proven the point of the critical race theorist argument, which is that's all. I feel like that's a topic for another day. Yeah. But it's proven the point. Like these judges are proving that whole critical race theory for all the people that are non-believers.
Yeah, I'm watching this. It's a very big investment. But I'm watching this Obama doc on HBO. It's like 3 movies, right? It's 3 episodes. It's an hour and a half each. But it takes me back to 07, 08, where he's at these primaries. And John McCain had the primaries and all that, and there's people in the parking lot talking about like, I don't like him. I don't like him. And then there are people asking like, why don't you? He's born in Kenya. He's a Muslim. He hangs out with terrorists. And they're like, do you have any proof? And they're like, I don't need any proof. It's like these people are out here and really clearly we know that, but like they're among us. They're among us. It's so strange. Like, this is how you think.
They like wild, different, disrespectful. And homeboy made it. The last person in charge, he made it acceptable. Like, so that's just one of those things that is like, what do you do? But it was one of those. It was one of those things that caught me off guard. I don't know if it caught y'all off guard. I don't know what part caught me off guard. It's like when country ass white people say black and they say it like so hard. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it was. It just kind of caught me off guard. But yeah, that was one of those things. I was like, eesh. So that's what's going on in the news. I advise everybody to see what's the Netflix movie? Damn, I can't remember the name. Yeah, the heart. I was about to say
yo, that junk was.
I saw it, yo.
I love that movie.
And the twist at the end, yo, my mom's nice. She
say nothing. I didn't see nothing.
I know I ain't gonna say, but my mom said she figured it out, and she was like putting pieces together because she thinks like 10 steps ahead. I was just watching it. I ain't even thinking nothing of it, and I was like, oh snap! Like it has a great ending, good storyline. The Harder They Fall has amazing.
The soundtrack is dope too.
Yep. And it's an old Western. Not one N-word was used in the movie.
I love it.
We ain't no nigga.
That's because it wasn't the white people in it.
No, there was, but they had a scene where it could have happened. They had a scene where it could have.
That scene is classic, bro. Yeah, we got to talk about it. Yo,
after bar season.
Watch it. We got to.
It could have
that scene
happened.
Is so classic.
Yeah, the N-word could have been dropped in that scene, but it was not. And I noticed there was some like discreet labeling where there's a part where I'm gonna just tell you there's a train that's involved in Western.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah,
I seen that on Instagram at least.
Yeah, they shouted Chadwick Boseman on the side of the train, which I thought was fire. So
it's dope.
Yep. But that concludes the Zo News, y'all.
All right, keep the ball, my brother, and give us a serenity prayer.
We want to ask God to grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference between the two.
Hallelujah.
All right, y'all. And that'll be episode 62. We'll see y'all next week. Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all.
Peace.